There's a reason why monitors are wide, why this screen is wide, why movie theaters have wide projectors. It's because we have this binocular vision. Your eyes are this way, they're not this way. We want landscape. But on top of that, when in landscape, you can hold the phone or my cameras with two hands. Get them both on there. Get them both. You better be recording me because this is actually project one. You better be recording. Do this.
I'm trying to get it to
Okay. Right, so you want your phone. Wait, I gotta do this. I gotta flip it around. You want your phone landscape view because this is how we deal with video. I mean, let's face it, if you're on, I usually use YouTube. When you're on YouTube and you're watching stuff, you might be watching it as it's landscape, but with the comments underneath it. Especially if you're doing like live streams, if you watch Twitch streams, I like those as well. That kind of stuff, right? It's gonna be done in landscape, and you're gonna be editing video in landscape. You need to record it that way. Two hands on it. Do you know how much your phone cost? Put two hands on it. I know you're over there, but two hands on it. How much did your phones cost? You remember? Anybody? You got it as part of your plan, didn't you? Your parents bought it for you? It was still expensive. And here's the thing. These things, I bought this outright. This is $1,000. So was yours. Even if it was on a plan. This costs so much money to make. There's like an 1/18 of an ounce of gold in here, right? It's really expensive to make these things. They are made with incredible precisions. They have touch screens. They have 3 to 5 cameras on them. That has all the software for it too. They're expensive. Hold it with two hands. Hold my cameras with two hands in landscape view. Awesome. Okay, now we got everybody on that two-handed thing. Got it on your two-handed thing. I'm moving around a lot. I'm doing that on purpose. I'm in a pace anyway. But I'm doing this to make you move. And you might notice that as you're tracking me around, you got a little bit of this going on. Right? You get a little bit of this. A lot of people, when they're recording, you've definitely seen people stream something or put something directly online on any of the platforms, and it's video, and you're watching, and it's all, and then you throw up because of motion sickness, right? This has pretty much happened to all of us. This is normal. I'm going to teach you how to have that not happen. And it's pretty simple, actually. We're going to pull our elbows in. Yeah, seriously, elbows in. Because we want to turn with the core of us. When we're tracking someone, you want to hold that in there. You want both hands on it. You want to turn with the core. It turned off, didn't it? You want to turn with your core. Now this immediately will help you. I'm not like squeezing. I got my elbows in. I don't want them out because I don't want this. You are a dynamic system. You are a living being. You're like a bunch of rubber bands being held together with metal rods. That's all you are. You're a bunch of metal rods being held together. Sorry, get that in the right order. So if you pull your elbows in, you have less of this. It's less of your breath gets into this. You're not moving up and down. You're not getting your heartbeat in. Pull your elbows in so that you can turn with the long muscles of your core. This makes much smoother video. You will notice an immediate improvement. And I know, yeah, the phones, the cameras that you use, they've all got anti-shake technology on that helps. But this makes it so much smoother as I walk around and talk at your faces. This really helps you get a much better picture. So now you've got two hands on it, and that's doing a little work so it's not twisting on you so much. You're not holding it with one hand and shaking, right? You got two hands on it, you got your elbows in, you're turning with the long muscles of your body, the core of you, it's very much on the sides, which is great. That means you have these nice smooth motions as you track me as I walk around. Wonderful. And as you track me and I walk around, you want to keep me in that center 75% of the screen. That's where the best focus is. Your cameras already do a little bit of a zoom in and actually take off some of the sides. It trims it down, it crops it. But you're going to have to take it the rest of the way. Because if you ever look at these camera lenses, they're spheres. They're lenses. They're round, lenticle lens. They're that way for a reason, because that's the same shape that your eyeball is. That's how we focus light onto a smaller surface with sensors on it. So, that means the actual vision that your camera gets is really weird and fisheye lensy, looking through a fishbowl kind of thing, right? Makes sense. The software in the camera is doing a little bit of work for that, but you want to improve on that and try and keep what's important that you're actually recording in that Center 75. And if you can see on my screen, if it doesn't turn off, if you can see on my screen, I've turned on the grid lines. You see those grid lines on there? You can turn them on your phones too. I am absolutely sure that your phone has grid lines in the settings. You want to turn those on if you haven't already, because they make you more aware of where the good spot on the screen is. And they don't show up in the videos. It's just for your edification. So you want those on. Center 75. Next. Wait, yes. That was in, turn record. So we center, yeah, last one. All right, last one. If you can, you want to completely remove all of you from the holding of this camera. You would like to use a tripod. We're going to use tripods in the third project, but I want you to get an appreciation for how well they help you focus and stabilize and record things. So for project 1 right now, and project 2 starting next week, you're going to hold the cameras yourself. So you've got to become the tripod. We can do this a couple of ways. One, the simplest one, when you're recording something, even if it's moving around, good stance, right? A little bit of a horse stance going on if you know the yoga pose. Feet shoulder width apart, right? Planted. I'm rolling back. I'm on my haunches a little bit. I'm putting the weight of my body straight down through my heel. Essentially just good posture, which I don't have, right? Elbows in. I'm turning to my core. I'm not locking my knees. Don't lock your knees because you'll bounce. You might not think you see it. The camera will show it to you. You will see it in your video. So you don't want to lock your knees. You want your legs good shoulder width apart. You want to be able to stand in one place for a long time. Turning with your core. Center 75. Grid lines on. Right? Elbows in. 2 hands landscape mode. Now, if you can turn yourself into a tripod. You can do that by getting up against the wall. Get up against the wall. Get up against the wall. Come up here. Stand in against the marker. Right? Get up against the wall. I'll show you two ways in when you can get against the wall. If you can get to a wall, you can take a lot of your body weight out of the equation. Right? So I'm going to let my shoulders hit the wall. I probably hit that too hard. Sorry. Right? I'm going to take one foot out. I'm going to take the other foot back. I'm trying to put all my body weight into this wall so that my arms and my core are not carrying it. Now, I can still turn. I can still twist. Right? But I got my shoulders against there. I got 3 points of contact. Shoulders, foot, foot. 4 foot, front, back foot. Right? I can do the same thing in a doorway. Scoot over. I can do the same thing in the doorway. Right? So for the doorway, put my shoulder into the door jamb. Put 1 foot out, the other foot in. Right? Now I got the whole room. All my weight's going into the door jamb. Not into my arms. I'm not bouncing. I'm not wiggling. I can turn if I need to. But being in a doorway, you generally do have run of the entire place. You can see everything that's going on. Now, a lot of times we can zoom in. We can zoom in with this, pinchies. And with those cameras, we have like zoom functions. We can also zoom in the software itself. So if you can get the whole scene and then zoom into the pieces you need, that's great. Back to your seats real quick. Last way to become a tripod. Ready? All turned off again. Sit. You may need to adjust your seat up and down a little bit. There's a little levers on these seats. You can do that, and that's true for many classrooms. If you can adjust the seat and you want to record your lessons, because you should be allowed to do that. You're paying to be here, and anything I say, you should be able to record. I know some professors don't like that. Tough titties. You paid to be here, we work for you. I mean, there's some respect to be due. We're professionals, we study our asses off to get to those positions. But really, you want to be a part of that. I so wish, when I was an undergrad in your spot, I could have done this. These things didn't exist, right? That was 1998. So, I got a little bit. Nope, sorry. There we go. All right, I'm becoming a tripod at my desk. Elbow, elbow, down. Sternum into the desk. Now, all of my weight of my body is being borne by the desk and the chair, and none of it's in my arms. Right? And now I can sit here like this. I become a tripod. 3 points of contact. 1, 2, 3. I can sit here like this for an hour, holding this phone dead still. If you sit far enough back, you can get like the whole board. Ah, beautiful, wonderful. How useful will that be in your calculus class? Teachers up there. Write that down. I'm going to erase it. I got to go to the next thing. Okay, dude, calm down. That is how to get good video on a mobile device.